Okay, welcome to the second episode of the Collab podcast, a podcast where we talk to industry leaders, property management leaders about all things collaboration, change, and our learning journeys over our course of our careers. Today, my guests are Grace Hooper and Jess Talbot of Someday Property. Welcome.
Thanks for having us.
Already getting the giggles. Yeah. I would love for you to share a bit about your career pathways and your backgrounds and what led you to starting Someday and doing that together.
Sure. I started in real estate the month that I finished school in November. So I finished school in November, year 12, went straight into real estate and started as a receptionist at Independent, where I met you. I worked there in many different roles for 5 years, and then I left and went to McGrath, where we started the McGrath in Canberra and organically grew the rent roll there. We then acquired a few rent rolls and grew that business to be quite large. From there, I had a break for a year, and then Grace approached me and we came up with the idea of doing a boutique business that is Someday. We had both worked in big businesses and we'd worked together at McGrath, and we decided that we wanted to do something small, intentionally small, boutique, really highly customer service focused and driven, and here we are.
That's how the rest is history.
The rest is history, yeah.
Grace, what about you? What was your journey?
Little bit different. I was studying at university in New Zealand, and then I came here for a little holiday, I guess, and then when I was finding a rental property, I got offered a job as a receptionist at the business. So I did that, and then went to McGrath with Jess, started the McGrath Woden business, learned a lot there, and then I transitioned into a role at what was called DEXA at the time for Independent, Blackshaws, Lang & Simmons, as their, I guess, person that did all the growth and things for those businesses. Worked with Han, and then when you left, took over at Independent as the general manager, and then decided, like Jess said, that high scale business was awesome. Learned a lot from it, but just wasn't where my passion was. So we started Someday.
And that was 5 years ago?
Coming up 5 years in November.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Time flies.
It does.
I think what's interesting about both your journeys is at times you've been given pretty big and pretty exciting opportunities. Like Jess, I still remember back at Independent when you were offered the McGrath opportunity, and it was a pretty massive thing then, and would still be today because it was so new and such a well-regarded brand. What kind of, I guess, for both of you, decision-making process did you undertake? Because you were both quite happy where you were and you're both doing really good things. How did you make the decision to leave and to do something different?
It took me 9 months to accept that role. So it was a really tough, long decision. I was really nervous and scared going out and doing... I basically hadn't actually done property management at Independent. I did leasing, assistant property management and new business. So doing everything was really scary. But after 9 months, they wore me down. I did really want to go and take that opportunity. I was excited. I was just scared. I was 24 years old. So it was a long, big, hard decision. Also, I'm quite a loyal person. So I had been with Independent for 5 years. I stayed with McGrath for 10. So just changing for the sake of change wasn't something that I wanted to do.
Yeah.
It was a long decision.
Yeah. But a worthwhile one, right?
Definitely, yeah.
You learned.
Grateful that I did that, yeah.
What about you, Grace?
Yeah, I guess for me, I had kind of exhausted the role at McGrath when I left. I had got, I had learned a lot there. It was a great brand to work for. And I think that when I was given a different opportunity, it was just that it was a different opportunity. So it was to do something different and learn something new. But again, I'm like Jess, moving around for the sake of moving wasn't really what I wanted to do. So it was just, a different opportunity. And again, it was really worthwhile and I learned a lot.
Yeah. And so those transitions from both your respective backgrounds into these kind of natural progression of leadership roles, how did you find that process? Did you kind of undertake any formal study, or did you learn by experience how to be a leader, how to be a manager? What was that experience like? Because you were both quite young.
Yeah, I think my journey was more about, to be honest, like what not to do and looking at different leadership styles. When I first started in kind of more of a leadership position, you know, my ideas around leadership were very much more of, you know, you dictate what you need from people and things like that. And then as I matured and as I learned from different leaders and worked in different places, I very much changed that approach to working for your team. And I think that was probably the biggest thing. And that was just watching people around me and watching leaders that I really loved working with. And you were a great one. And yeah, I learned a lot. I learned both sides of the coin. And I think there's more than one way to skin a cat. Is that the saying? I don't know.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, so I think it was really helpful for me to work in different businesses and just see different styles and then make my own based on those.
Yeah.
Yes, similar. I had zero formal training. It was all learned experience. And I guess I come from a sporting family and a sporting background, and that was where I had learnt about leadership, and you know that was my only experience. But no formal training. It was all learning on the job, and I made some really, really big mistakes along the way.
Don't we all?
But I think now, 22 years on, I've developed a style that I'm really proud of. I'm lead, as Grace said, with good intention, and lead by example, I suppose, instead of thinking that you have to sort of dictate to people how they need to do things. It's been a journey. Yes. Yeah.
You are both very authentic leaders. I mean, even doing the training session with your team and just seeing how the team respond to you, it's obviously like a very safe and like comfortable environment, but still very professional, which is a hard balance to strike in many businesses.
I think that's something that is what we're most proud of someday. I mean, there's everything. You know, when you start a business, you know, most people look at bottom line and all of that kind of thing, which is important. But to us, I think our biggest achievement has been to keep 100% retention of our team since growing. You know, we're really proud of that, and we're really proud of the people we have in the business.
Yeah.
And that shows, doesn't it? Because you've also got 100% retention of clients outside of clients who've sold or moved back in, don't you?
Yeah, 99% now, to be transparent. But yes.
That's phenomenal, though.
Yeah, it is great. We are doing really well in that space.
Yeah.
But it follows on from our model, which is slow, organic growth, good quality people, property, clientele and staff. And it just, quality over quantity is our philosophy, I suppose, and
Absolutely.
It's served us well.
Because I think you've always taken the view to be a bit over-resourced rather than under-resourced.
100%.
Yeah, talk to me about that, because I think that's really smart.
Look, I think we agreed early on that it's really hard to find good people in property management. That's something that we knew from our previous roles. And so we do have 2 experienced property managers, but we've brought on 2 in almost like a 2-year traineeship program. And what that enables us to do is teach them from the ground up, but we have hired them before we need them. So we do carry a bit of cost there. However, what we look at is it builds loyalty, but it also means that, you know, our team can give a really good service and we are well resourced. And when people are away and, you know, I just had 2 babies pretty much consecutively. Thanks, Jess. So, you know, over that time it meant that, you know, the business could keep functioning and the wheels didn't fall off.
Yes.
So it was very intentional from us very early on that we wanted to be reactive. I mean, we didn't want to be reactive. We wanted to be proactive.
Well, if you look at your staffing numbers, you've got nearly a year's worth of annual leave across the group of you. So having that redundancy, I think, is critical, because how often do we see property managers, when someone goes on leave, everyone else bears the brunt of that. And then the person comes back from leave stressed because everyone else hasn't often borne the brunt of it particularly well because they're already.
And I think what you were talking about this morning, Han, where you were saying, when people leave, typically you lose 60 properties. So the way that we've looked at things is we don't have that cost of changeover because we listened to the team early on. So we have invested that. Instead of putting it back in the bottom line, we've invested it in having those people there. And so it all looks very healthy currently. So we're happy with that.
Yeah, and it's not just the loss of property, is it? It's the hard cost of recruitment. If we're looking at on average 24,000 when we need to get another PM or the downtime, and then the pressure that puts on our other typically high performers get the brunt of the workload. Yeah, which is why I guess we see that 40% churn in the industry. But you guys have been able to avoid that, which is amazing. So with Sunday, nearly 5 years in, what would you say outside of building an amazing business? What are you most proud of? Like, what's a granular thing that you're really proud of during that time?
I'm proud of us for moving past the hurdle of perfectionism. So when we started, we're both perfectionists, and it was hard at the beginning. We really dwelled on the little things. Everything mattered a lot and still does, but we have a saying that is progress over perfection, and we remind each other of that constantly, and it helps us move forward. So we do move forward with things that may not be perfect at the time, but just work, and we make it work for us. So I'm really proud of that. That was hard.
Yeah, I think I'm most proud that we have stayed really true to our values from when we started. I think it's very easy in this industry to look at what everyone else is doing and, hear that noise. But I think for us, we've remained pretty true to what we're doing. And, I think that's been great. I mean, Jess and I, we pick up our kids every day, and we've stayed true to what's important outside of the business, which is one of our core values, dedicated but not consumed. And I'm really proud that we are both working mums. A lot of our team are, that way inclined, I guess. But, we've built something that is not all-consuming but is wonderful in its own right.
Absolutely. And I remember over the years you've actually said no to lots of clients, and in some cases large clients, which as an industry often you don't make those decisions because it's tempting for the extra revenue or the extra profile. I really admire how strongly you've kind of stood by those values.
We haven't, and all fairness, we, in the early days, we took on a client that we, I guess, had reservations about, and it took us 2 months to get rid of them. But when you're first starting out a business, it is very tempting. I mean...
Yeah. And in our market, you guys are one of the most expensive agencies, and I know that you're really firm on your offering. Talk to me about that, because I know across Australia we see more and more agents are dropping their fees to win the business, and in some areas I'm hearing, sounds ludicrous, but 2 or 3% management fees. Wow. Which doesn't even cover the bills, right? So how have you managed to differentiate yourself and deliver an amazing service that justifies those fees, and who do you come up against? How do you overcome those objections on fees?
The best part of our growth has been that a lot of it is referral based. The majority, I'd say probably 80% has been referrals from current clients, not really family friends, but I guess some family and friends, but clients that are already receiving the service that we provide. So understand that we do take ultimately great care of their properties. That has helped a lot, because when you get referred in to somebody as opposed to them just shopping around, fee is less of a hurdle. They've been referred by somebody they trust, and so that has been helpful.
I would say, again, being really clear on our vision and breaking down the numbers. I think for us, we know that if we drop our fee substantially, we cannot retain that level of staffing that we have. And I think knowing who we are and knowing what we offer clients and being really clear on that. I mean, we're not trying to be the biggest. We're not trying to have a large scale of properties. We're not really tech heavily driven. We're people driven. And so just really remaining true to that. And when we meet with clients, Jess and I meet them ourselves still. And yeah, I think we are passionate on good service and we know what it takes to deliver that. It's not easy. It's not easy to carry higher staffing numbers. We need those fees to do that.
Yeah.
And that's the niche we decided to work in.
Yeah, that's great. I think I remember one of you telling me the story that when you get cold emails, not like a referral, but an email in, people shopping around, a lot of agencies won't give fees. They'll insist on meeting.
Yeah.
I think one of you told me that you'll just send the fees, say this is what it is. If you'd still like to meet, we're happy to.
Yeah, we do. Full transparency, because if they are just shopping for the cheapest fee, then we're not going to be their clients. Totally. So it's kind of a waste of everybody's time. But yes, we do that.
I love that.
Yeah.
I think sometimes it's really hard to get fees from agents.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then you get in front of them and it's like, oh, this is
not going to work.
Yeah. So I think that's smart.
Yeah.
You touched on values, Grace. I know that you guys do have values that you workshop with your team every year. Talk to me about, I guess, the initial phase of that when you started the business and how they've evolved over the period of time.
Yeah, we did the values before we even did the branding. We got very clear on what we didn't want to be actually helped form them. Like a couple of them, just an example of ours is young but not naive. So it's what we are, but what we don't want to be as well. And that was not necessarily outward facing. It just gave us a really clear picture on who we were. Honestly, after 5 years, we changed one last year.
Yeah.
With the team, and we do review them every year. I think that's important.
We might have to change the young one as I turn 40 this year.
They're not really young anymore.
Yeah.
Still young.
Young at heart.
Exactly.
Yeah. Jess is the senior in our business.
Oh, come on.
It's true.
But I think it was more about being progressive. It wasn't necessarily, how we were. It was also when we started, we had zero. We decided very early on we wanted to be a new brand that we created. We didn't want to
be a
franchise. And so we knew what came with that was that it would take some time to build up that brand awareness. And so, I think, values are really important to a business, but it's really more so important that they align with who you are as people.
Yeah.
And getting the buy-in from your staff as well, or getting them to help you come up with the values and make sure they're aligned with that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're just words on a wall.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm fascinated that you actually built your values before you had a brand. Is that for real? You actually came up with values before you even had Someday?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think our branding was formed a lot around that. I think we were one of the earlier ones to do pink. We got feedback very early on that we're a very feminine brand, and we got that feedback a fair bit.
Mostly from men too. So
but they thought it was really cool. So I think,
and we were happy with that. I mean, we're two females. Yeah, I mean that's who we are. So we didn't want it to be hard and sort of really, what's the word?
Masculine.
Yeah, masculine and like. We wanted
to be warm and soft. And that's who we were, and that was our values. So that's what our brand looks like.
And the brand definitely reflects who you guys are. Like not visually, but even social media, the way you tell the story, the tone. Your email signatures, talk to me about that.
Oh, that's
right.
People love that.
I think, what's yours, Jess? Jess's is, we got rid of titles in our business quite early on. And that was intentional because we didn't want a hierarchy, which is what I think can, a lot of businesses, it's sales and property management. We wanted to be one business where there wasn't a hierarchy. So we got rid of titles. We still had something, like our property managers are home enthusiasts and our sales agents are property matchmakers. So everyone still has something, but it just was about coming away from that. And then something about us. So like Jess's is chief people person and caffeinated
child wrangler.
Because she's a busy mum of 3 boys. Mine was early rising Kiwi, but, I've got to be fair. I'm not really early rising unless my kids wake me up these days.
So you are early rising.
Yeah, true. Not as much as it used to be something that I loved doing. It's now.
I think the traditional titles of CEO or director gave us the ick.
Yeah.
Big time. Didn't want to have that.
Yeah.
To this day, when people ask what we do, I say I work in real estate. Like, I hate the ego part around. I know some people go into business so that they can say they own a business. It's just not for us.
No.
So that was what that was about.
Yeah. I love it. And I think now, particularly in property management, I think when there's those traditional titles, there's this like desire from people to be the next thing.
Yeah.
To be the property manager, to the senior,
right.
to the whatever, to
Yes.
the team leader.
Yeah.
At the detriment of their own growth, I think, and journey, because they're just chasing a title.
Yes,
Which is
definitely.
pointless, right?
Yeah.
It's just a title.
Yeah. And
no
like we
point.
said earlier on, my leadership came from just progression, but not any actually skilled learning or anything like that. It was just on the job learning. So I agree. I don't love titles and
I also think
hierarchy
it
chart.
helps our clients get to know our people a little bit. Our bios are less about where we've worked and what we've done in the business and more about who we are as people. And I think that's really important with the clients that we have. We charge more and we don't want to be disrupted by AI and things like that because we get to know our clients really well. But in turn, we want them to know who they're dealing with as well. And luckily, touch wood, we've had the same girls since we've opened. So we have been really lucky in that aspect.
Yeah, that's amazing. Moving away a little bit from business, although it does influence and impact business as well. You touched on you used to get up really early. I think it was 4 a.m. or something disgusting.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah. So I know that your sporting background, so that's obviously that high performance kind of mindset and fitness and health and all that kind of space. And hoops, I know for a long time you were very driven by goal setting and habit building.
Yeah.
I would love to hear about your experiences in that space, your advice in that space, and how I guess your view of those things have evolved over time, particularly post kids.
I was going to say I'm issuing a public announcement to say that I am so sorry when I used to tell people just get up an hour earlier because now that I'm a mother of 2 very small children, I realise how absolutely stupid that was. And whilst I still love to get up early and go to the gym before the kids wake up, it's not easy. I still believe in goal setting. I still believe in habits. Because half the time I don't want to do that stuff, but I do it anyway because it's a habit. But honestly, like I look back on those times that I was speaking and I was saying that and I honestly cringe. I cringe at myself.
But it was that time of your life. That's okay. You didn't have kids and you didn't know any different, and that was
Yeah.
Go easy on yourself.
I agree.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's okay.
For me, sport has always been a part of my life, and I think it's served me very well in business as well. Like, it's got quite transferable skills, working as a team, working together to achieve a mutual goal, being able to be high performance, so representative teams, that kind of thing. Going to the gym has always been part of my life. For me, it is physical well-being, but also it's huge. It's hugely for my mental health.
Yeah.
Without that part of activity in my life, I go spiraling, and it's not good for anybody. So I'm a much better mum, I'm a better employee, I'm better boss, better everything when I have worked out.
Yeah.
And I'm looking after myself and just feel better. So when I had kids, there was obviously a bit of time. Exercise was always part of my life, but sport, playing for teams, took a bit of a back seat whilst my kids were really little. And coming out the other end now, I've got a 5, a 10 and an 11-year-old. I've gotten back into sport for me. They play so many sports, so it's, hard to fit that in, but it's really, really important. I love that they come and watch me play, that they see mum doing cool stuff on the football field. Yeah. I think it's really good to be a good role model for them as well. But again, it's just me time. Like, the women I play with now all have kids, most of them. It's just like our hour for the week where we get to go and train and do our own thing. And then we go away up to Coffs twice a year to play footy. And it's just a really nice weekend away for ourselves. So it's just keeping something for you, which I think is really important.
Yeah. And you also coach and manage teams.
Yeah.
Not like
Yeah,
you're busy.
I coach a girls OzTag team, and that is so fulfilling.
Yeah.
It's busy, but my boys play OzTag at the same time, so it's not hugely inconvenient.
Yeah.
But I get so much from that, and I get a bit of girl time. Yeah, it's really rewarding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And so less about crazy 4 a.m. habits and yoga and smoothie drinking. How have your habits evolved post-kids and how do you manage to fit it all in?
Look, not well. It's taken me a while. My youngest is now 13 months. I have non-negotiables like Jess of going to the gym. I used to go 6 times a week and walk and do all of these things, and now I just take that hour and that's enough. It has to be. But like Jess, I'm a better person when I've had that time.
Yeah.
And it just means, I fit it in by getting up still, unfortunately, quite early. But, I've also had to learn to be kind to myself. I was really habit driven, and I think at times that didn't lend itself well to self-care because whether I was sick, no matter what I was doing, I was really strict with myself. And I think becoming a parent has made me learn self-compassion. And, sometimes my kids are up all night or something happens, they're sick, and I've had to learn just to say, this is okay. It's okay. Doesn't need to happen today.
Yeah.
And that has been, I guess, my biggest lesson in parenting is that things don't have to be perfect to be good.
Yeah.
They can still be.
So true. And it doesn't always go to plan, especially in the
It
industry.
really does. Yeah.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Okay, conscious of time, you guys have shared a heap of really valuable stuff today. I would like to finish on a couple of fluffier questions.
Love fluff.
Quotes to live by and a book that changed your world.
Okay.
Book Daring Greatly by Brené Brown. I always say that. I love that book. It changed my way of thinking about leadership. So I think it's an amazing book.
In what way?
Just being vulnerable and how that's okay. Like I said, I used to be very, I guess, hard in terms of what I have been taught about leadership is that leadership is hard. And I think reading that book really made me understand that it can be soft as well. And actually, it's really powerful when it is.
A book, asking me my favourite book is like asking me to pick a favourite child. It's really hard.
So
I
you
love
know very clearly.
Hey, yeah. Yes. No, I love reading. I'm part of a book club. We're reading a good book at the moment called Hello Beautiful. Then I read Strangers by Belle Burden, a memoir most recently. I love reading biographies. Michelle Obama's biography is a highlight. But I also love reading fiction. It's like my escapism from...
Switch off.
Yeah, so I don't know. I can't really pick a favourite, but Michelle Obama's book I'd highly recommend.
Yeah, and you got to see her speak like a week ago.
Yeah, we
Was it
did.
great?
So good. Yeah,
she's
she's
amazing.
amazing. Yeah.
We both decided we would be friends with her.
Yeah.
She could be part
She
of
could work at Sunday.
Yeah. We would hire her and
Yeah.
she could be part of our friendship group.
Yeah.
Yeah. She
love
was
that.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And a quote that you live by? Something you come back to? I know you said progress over perfection within the
It's
business.
a big one, yeah.
Yeah. I don't necessarily have a quote from somebody, but I do try to live by don't sweat the small stuff. Like I have said that to myself for years and years because I used to be very hard on myself and would sweat all the small stuff. So, that would be my...
Love it.
Yeah.
So
same.
true, right?
Yeah.
I love the Maya Angelou quote that people make you forget. Oh, sorry, I'm not going to say it right now, but people will always remember how you make them feel.
Yeah.
And I do believe that. I think people forget all the time the things you say, but you know how people make you feel. So I think that's been pretty centre in my journey of real estate and just life in general. I think it's important.
And that probably sums up, I guess, the someday experience, that you want your people to feel valued, safe, supported, that you want your clients to have an amazing experience.
Yeah.
All comes back to that feeling, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Amazing. Well, thank you both for your time today. I appreciate you sharing your stories and your backgrounds and being part of Collab.
Go Collab.
Thank you.
I'm so
Thanks for
happy
having
you.
us.